Hi guys, welcome back to another video. This video is going to be all about traveling with a baby slash toddler and what we do. Because it's obviously different for everybody, it's different for every child, and it can be different just on the day. Like, it depends on your kid, you know, they could be having a good day that day or a good hour or a not good hour. So these are just some tips, tricks, little advice, things you need to know when flying with a baby. So something we did not know, and I'm glad somebody asked this question because this can be very helpful to you. You have to bring your baby's birth certificate when you fly. And I didn't even think about it. It just did not click in my head. And maybe you guys knew that, but we didn't know that. Nobody ever told us, make sure you have her birth certificate if you're traveling. Nobody told that, but make sure you do, because so far we've gotten away with it, but this last time we flew to Ohio, they almost did not let us unless we went back and got her birth certificate, which we didn't have time for, so we would have missed our flight and everything. But I guess the regulations are that you have to have an age identifier of the child that you're bringing on the plane with you. It's not even like to confirm that it's your kid, it's literally to confirm the age. And I don't know why, but they said social security ones don't work. Basically nothing. Like, you have to show proof of birth date, so a birth certificate. And they said that we've gotten away with it for now, but that they do have random inspectors in flight, like while you're in the air, that can come around and ask you for proof of age. And if you don't have the proof of age, you get in like a lot of trouble and you get fined, and the airline gets fined. So it's like a bigger thing. So I had to sit and I had to look up on our medical apps to see if I could find something that said her birthday on it. And I did, and he let me screenshot that for this flight, but he's like, in the future you need the birth certificate with you. So that was good to know, and I didn't know that. Because somebody was like, what are the requirements for bringing a baby or toddler, to travel? And I think if you're just staying within the United States, you just need to bring the birth certificate. I have a list from asking everybody on TikTok and Instagram what you guys wanted to know, or just some key things you wanted me to talk about. Do we bring Leah's car seat with us? And how does it work with checking your bags or the options up at the front at the gate when you board the plane? We bring her car seat because every time that we have flown, we ended up getting a rental car, and we just brought her car seat with us, but we did check it with our suitcase. So for us, when we are tagging our bags, we tag the car seat and it all goes under the plane. So we bring it, but we don't carry it around with us at the airport, and we don't use it on the plane. If that makes sense. But I know there's options to where you can bring the car seat on the plane, I think, but you can also bring the car seat on the plane and they keep it up in their front area. So if you have a stroller and you're using it throughout the airport, before you board the plane, they have you fold it up and then they keep it up front in the front of the plane with them. There's a car leaving their house. And I don't really know how that works because we haven't done that. We don't bring her stroller. If we do, again, we check the stroller too, but we haven't brought in her stroller. But I have seen people that bring the strollers, and before they board, the flight attendants take the stroller. And then they have it. It's same like if you needed a wheelchair or something. You can take it up until the time of boarding, and then they keep it. And then when it's time to get off the plane, they give it back to you. Also, a lot of people ask if we buy Leah her own seat. And we don't, because children under 2 fly for free. And we're trying to just take advantage of that. And she does pretty good on our lap. When we first flew with her the first time, she was 7 months old, I think, and she was fine just sitting on our lap. If she started getting wiggly, I put her on Michael's lap, or he'll put her back on my lap, look out the window, whatever. And the last time we recently flew, we actually got lucky because the front people, when you're boarding, you can ask them how full the plane is. And if they say that it's not very full, you can try to get the seat. So like if it's not a full flight, our flight attendant people told us it's not a full flight. If you guys want to put her in the middle seat, you can, and then no one will sit next to you. So when we heard that, we put Leah on that middle seat. I was at the window, Michael was on the aisle seat, and like there was plenty of space, so nobody bothered to try to sit next to us, and she kind of got her own seat, which was super helpful. And I think I would like that better than always having to hold her, but at the same time I don't really want to pay for a seat. Layovers or no layovers? We're going to Ohio, which is a 6-hour flight. I was too nervous to put Leah on the plane for 6 hours straight. I was just nervous because I know she was going to get restless. I know she was going to get fussy. She would want to get down and crawl around or walk around, and I didn't want her crying because she couldn't get off of our laps, you know? We decided we want to do layovers, just one, like fly for 2.5 hours, have a layover, fly for the last 2.5 hours. And we've done that all times that we've flown so far, and it has been perfect. Like, I love it. I love it. So I like having a layover. Usually our layover is only like an hour or 2 hours, and to be honest, by the time you get food, you change their diaper, you let them run around for a little bit, it's time to get back on the plane. And for us, it kind of was like, and somebody also asked this too, do you plan our flights according to her sleep schedule? We don't. We kind of just plan our flights based on what's cheapest, but it all kind of works out. So if I know we're getting on the plane, I try to keep her awake so she falls asleep on the plane. So again, like, get there early to airports, but get there even a little bit earlier if you have a baby or a toddler, so they can run around and get their energy out, then put them on the plane. Leah falls asleep right away on the plane every time. So the layovers help because by the time we're getting ready to land for our first layover or whatever, she's getting fussy, getting antsy, wanting to get down. And then we get out and we have our layover. She runs around, she does her little thing, plays with her toys. Then when we get back on the plane for our second half of the flight, she's tired again and she falls asleep. I highly recommend wearing your kids out before you put them on the plane. Don't let them sleep while you're waiting for your flight, or don't let them sleep while you're going through security. Like, really try to keep them up so that they sleep on the plane. And that has worked every time for us. Again, every baby's different though. And I think one time Leah was up for a while on the flight, but she still did pretty good. Did we pack anything special for layovers? No, we just had her normal, like, whatever we took on the plane, snacks, toys. Everybody was asking about the pressure, her ears. Every time that we've taken off or landed, she never seems to be bothered by her ears, and she never seems to be bothered by pressure changes or anything, which I was actually very, very worried about because I have sensitive ears, so it bothers me. So when we were flying for the very first time, I was really nervous, and I was like, her ears are gonna hurt. Like, I think before our very first flight, I gave her Tylenol before the plane took off because I was nervous that she was gonna like have issues. But we give her pacifier or snacks, and I think that really helps because it like keeps your jaw moving, you know. And when she was really little, I tried to breastfeed her when we went up and down. So like, if you have a bottle ready for them, and again, if you just wore them out and then give them milk or whatever, they're gonna go to sleep. So that's what you would hope, at least, and that's how it's worked with us. How do you change diapers? So normally, and I know this is probably not that great, but normally we change her diaper right before we go on the plane. And then while we're on the plane, if it's like a 2.5 hour flight, I think is the most that we've flown at once because we do the layovers. But if she doesn't poop, we don't change her because it's really, really hard to change them on the airplane. Our airplane had has a changing table, but it's just not convenient at all. And I think even one time Michael had to change her on the toilet seat because it was just easier. So we try to avoid changing her on the plane in the air, and we make sure she has a dry diaper going onto the airplane, and we keep her in pee until we get off the plane. But if she poops, we obviously change her. I don't know, it's just really hard because I want to change her, but it's very hard on an airplane. It's just not convenient. So that'll be up to you if you decide that you really want to change your kid the second they pee, or let them be okay for another hour. So far, Leah's always been okay, never had a rash after or anything. And that's just kind of what worked for us. Obviously, if we were not doing the layovers and had a longer flight, like, we would have to change her quite a few times, but it's just, you gotta do it. But it is very inconvenient. They do have changing tables, but it's hard. So that part sucks. I think that was all, like, the other questions everybody was asking about. And obviously the main ones I'm going to talk about right now is how to keep her calm or entertained, and like the toys, the snacks, the stuff. So I always try to bring lots of snacks. So she has puffs and yogurt melts. I bring fruit snacks. I bring string cheese. And then I'll bring like the pouches. I'll bring her water, which the water bottles have to be emptied when you're going through security, but once you get through and you get to your gate, you can fill the water bottle up. So she's got something to drink. She's got lots of snacks. Bring toys. Now, Leah right now is in love with baby dolls, so I make sure to bring some type of stuffed animal or a baby doll for her. And then she likes other random toys, like whatever are their favorites. Try to bring those if they're small enough and fit in in the carry-on. What we recently started doing the last time we flew, and I'm sure we're going to do again in Florida, is buy them a new toy and don't give it to them until they're fussy on the plane. So like, she had her other toys, she had her snacks, her water, and if she was getting fussy, before I brought out the iPad. So that's another thing, is we do bring her the iPad. We have like Bluey and Mickey Mouse Clubhouse downloaded on it, and a few games she can poke around at if she's really that fussy, but I think she's only used the iPad once. But before we bring out the iPad, we bring out this new toy, and whatever the new toy is, it's new to them. So it keeps her entertained, it refocuses her on this new toy, and so far that has been like a lifesaver. It could just be a toy from the dollar section at Target or the dollar store. Their kids, they just see something new to play with. So I feel like that's a really good kind of strategy, is like pull out a new toy, a new thing for them when they get fussy. And we did that before we brought out the iPad. But yes, the iPad. Pacifiers, I don't know if your kids use those, but that's always been a lifesaver for us. Leah usually only uses a pacifier to go to sleep, but on the plane it's very helpful. Interacting with your kid and not just expecting them to sit and look out the window. So like, Leah loves her songs. She loves Baby Shark, she loves Wheels on the Bus, Row, Row, Row Your Boat, Five Little Monkeys. She loves those like hand songs. So, you know, we entertained her. We sat and talked to her. We sang to her. We did Five Little Monkeys jumping on the bed. We did Wheels on the Bus probably a million times on the flight, but be the entertainer. We did peekaboo a lot because, yeah, after a while, just like anybody, they don't want to just sit there. They don't want to just look out the window. They don't want the toy that's in front of them. They want interaction. Hopefully you also get people next to you that are really good with kids and babies, because we had one lady who was like playing peekaboo with her, and that entertained her for a while and was really cute. Just bring toys, snacks, like obviously the necessities, diapers, wipes. We used wipes so many times, so make sure you bring the wipes. Even bring extra wipes. Try to change their diaper before you get on the plane. I would say, especially if you're flying for like the first time and a layover is an option, to try that layover, because it definitely gives you guys a break before your next flight. they can get some energy out, even if it's just crawling or whatever. Try to keep them awake so they sleep on the plane. That's kind of like, that's just kind of it. Like, that's our tips for flying. If you have any other good advice, let me know, because I'm open to it all. But that's pretty much it. Just make sure you have the birth certificate, because they can do random inspections while in flight, and you don't want to be fined for that. So I didn't know that you had to have proof of age. Make sure that they're in something comfortable too. Don't put them in something that's not going to be very comfortable. But I think that's it. So there are just some things to remember, keep in mind. But I hope the best for all of you guys flying with littles. And we go to Florida in 2 weeks, and I'm hoping she does well on those flights as well. We have, again, a layover, so we have like our first flight and then a second flight, and then we're there. So we're going to be using these same strategies and everything, because so far they've worked for us. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. And again, if you have any other good advice, leave it down below, because I would love to hear it for whenever we travel. And I'm about to have another baby to travel with soon, so I need advice for traveling with too. I will see you guys back in another video.